Hello friends. When we are working with a virtual function, if it is defined purely in the base class without giving the definition in the base class, that means we are not providing a implementation part of any virtual function in the base class. That type of function is provided in the class is called as an abstract class. Any virtual function is defined in the base class without providing the implementation of that function. That function is no definition is present. Now, if you want to use that function, so that function get over redefined in the derived class, and that type of class is called as an abstract class. We'll see in details. Sometimes when a virtual function is declared inside the base class, there is no meaningful operation for it. But this situation is common when base class does not define a complete class by itself. Instead, it simply supplies a core set of member function and variables to which the derived class supplies the remainder. When there is no meaningful action for the base class virtual function to perform the implication that any derived class must override this function. To ensure that this will occur, C++ support as pure virtual function. A pure virtual function has no relative definition in the base class. Only the function prototype is included. Consider the general format of virtual function is virtual, the type of a function, the function name, if the parameter present equal to 0. The key part of this declaration is setting of the function equal to 0. This tells the compiler that no body exists for the function related in a base class. When a virtual function is made pure, it forces any derived class to override it. If derived class does not, a compile time error will result. Thus, making a virtual function pure is a way to guarantee that derived class will provide its own redefinition. Consider if any function which is declared in the base class as a virtual, that virtual function without any definition, that virtual function by default derived function has to redefine. If you are not performing that, then that compiler will provide you the error for not redefining that function. Next, when a class contains at least one pure virtual function, it is referred to an abstract class. Since an abstract class contains at least one function for which no body exists, it is technically an incomplete type and no object of that can be created. That means whichever function is incomplete or virtual function in the base class, the object of that base class we cannot create because the definition of one of the function is not present in the class. That's why we can say the abstract class cannot get inherited, or we can say cannot get instantiated. Next, abstract class exists only to inherit. It is important to understand, however, that you can still create a pointer to an abstract class, since it is through the use of base class pointer that runtime polymorphism is achieved. It is also possible to have a reference to an abstract class. That means without creating the object, you can use to create a pointer variable, and with the help of that you can give the different pointer reference. But you cannot create the object, but you can inherit that class, and with the help of that you can give the accessibility to the member function. Thank you.